Hello everyone, you are watching a snippet of the countdown program from October 20th, 2022. Today is Thursday. See the full version on Patreon. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. The Russian inhabitant is slowly being prepared for unpleasant news. Farewell to Kherson, which will soon be liberated by the armed forces of Ukraine. Stromosalda has already fled the city, and is broadcasting from somewhere in the Russian rear that everything is under control. Meanwhile, informational conditions are being created to justify the planned retreat of the rashists and the surrender of significant territories of the Kherson region to the armed forces of Ukraine. In addition to Gauleiter Saldo, General Sergei Surovikin, who has been commanding the war against Ukraine for some time now, is also involved in the information preparation process. The statements by Surovikin and Saldo are probably an attempt to create informational conditions for the complete retreat of the Russians across the Dnieper, as a result of which the city of Kherson and other significant territories in the Kherson region will cede to the advancing Ukrainian troops, analysts from the Institute for the Study of War believe. British intelligence experts suggested that the rashists could leave via a barge bridge and pontoon crossings. The key task of the withdrawal operation will be the withdrawal of troops and their equipment in good condition across a river 1,000 meters wide. With all permanent bridges severely damaged, Russia is likely to rely heavily on the temporary barge bridge it recently built near Kherson and the military pontoon crossings that remain in operation at several locations. Experts also admit the option of a man-made disaster. In their opinion, Russia is preparing to blow up the dam of the Kakhovskaya hydroelectric power station and blame Kyiv for this in order to cover the retreat of its army from the right bank of the Dnieper and delay the advance of Ukrainian troops. Observers pay attention to the statement of Surovikin, who on October 18 said that he had received information about Kyiv's intention to strike at the dam of the Kakhovskaya GSE. According to him, this will lead to devastating flooding in the Kherson region. And Gauleiter Saldo said that there is an immediate danger of flooding the territories in connection with the planned destruction of the dam of the Kakhovskaya hydroelectric power station. The occupiers are probably deliberately making these warnings about the alleged attack on the hydroelectric power station by Ukraine in order to provide information background for their own attack and to lay the blame for the subsequent damage and loss of life on Kyiv. Also, the Russian troops can use the resulting flood to retreat to the south of the Kherson region and slow down the advance of the armed forces of Ukraine. And in Russia itself, the understanding is already ripening that Putin's decisions to introduce various levels of martial law means that the country is systematically turning into a military camp with all the ensuing bloody consequences. This means that Putin does not hope for any peace negotiations with the West and now sees only a military solution to the Ukrainian problem. But the worst thing that the layman is afraid to admit is that all the monstrous decisions by Putin have already been made and will be implemented. The only question is the timing and extent of the inevitable catastrophe. The world is clearly on the threshold of great events. The Kremlin is shaking the European Union, dispersing pro-Russian sentiment. And in Britain, 44 days after coming to the post of Prime Minister, Liz Truss resigns. And this is a record short term of premiership. During this time, Truss managed to bury Queen Elizabeth II, and did not have time to do anything else. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. Today, power outages are planned throughout Ukraine, and Ukrainians are ordered to minimize the use of electricity. In the Kursk region, relatives of lost Shmobuks record video messages into the void, and in Saratov, the mother of a deceased rashist blames Ukraine for her grief. According to the Washington Post, Putin is giving a master class in Ukraine on how not to wage war in the 21st century, how to fly out of the chair of an official and add yourself to the list of Shmobuks. On the RBC TV channel, a Russian official gave out a state secret about Iranian drones live. The West is in full swing hunting for a new generation of schemers. In Norway, the son of the ex-head of the Russian railways, Vladimir Yakunin, Andrei, was detained, and in Italy, the son of the Krasnoyarsk governor Aleksandr USS, Artem USS. The U.S. Attorney's Office has charged 5 Russian citizens with violating the sanctions regime and other offenses. And the last one for today. Gang chef Prigozhin continues to make loud political statements, once again raising his dog's paw over the head of Governor Beglov. Quote from another Prigozhin revelation. Our city, Petersburg, for him, Beglov, is nothing but a haven for a gang of people who de facto captured it. Aleksandr Dmitrievich has associates, assistants, and friends. All of them can be described in one word: accomplices. Comrades in arms are those who lead their miserable existence in order to get to the Smolninsk offices, and at the crown of their careers grab the fattest possible piece. End of quote. I just want to ask like a kid, but we bet you won't wave? Fight, and how? Just not today. This Wagner-like bald man will still inflate the whole of St. Petersburg and rename it Prigthenburg. Here you will see, and that is all. See the full version of this program on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. I hugged everyone. See you tomorrow on Friday Live. Glory to Ukraine.